All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. The conversation has already started even during the break. Let me introduce my guest one more time. Honorable Anthony Kibagendi is here, Member of Parliament for Kitutu Chache South. Honorable Nelson Koech, Member of Parliament for Belgut. Honorable Sheikh Abdullahi Abdi, Chairman NAMLEF, the National Muslim Leaders Forum, is joining us now. Thank you so much for making time. And Charles Owino, Chairperson, KIMC Council. Asante sana for making time. Let's start off with the dailies here and the Standard front page. Senate to Ruto, rid yourself of excess baggage. This is what they're talking about, and I'll play for you some of the sound bites from the senators on what they think should be done. But before we get there, I'll start with you, Charles. How do you describe the state of the nation today, before we get into the discussion here?
I think our state is not good as a nation because there's lawlessness, which ought not to be the case. We have a very vibrant constitution, and we all know what the Constitution provides for when it comes to demonstrations, assemblies, and even picketing. It's very clear that it ought to be peaceful and people ought not to be armed. And I think at one point, the young men and ladies, they came out and they aired out their dissatisfaction and views. But unfortunately, after that, we have seen very bad actions from other groups of persons that maybe are interested. But I think it was out of excitement. I think some people thought that from what they had seen, the so-called Generation Z and the tech would do, then somebody just imagined that you can overthrow a government by bringing in people to the city, saying we'll take over State House, saying we'll do this. Unfortunately, it has gone to a level where people are losing businesses. Okay. And what you'll see is a big revolt, if they continue, by the business community and people who support them against those individuals. Okay. But I think there's a lot of excitement, and unfortunately, from maybe individuals who maybe lost elections and who thought that there's a shortcut. Okay. But we have examples across board in Africa where those kind of excitements has led us to a lot of losses. Okay. So lawlessness and excitement. Yes. Kibagendi, how do you describe the state of the nation?
What I can say is that Kenya is in a political crisis that was ignited by a revolution by young people of this nation on the 25th of June that has totally reset the political fabric of this country. What has happened to this country is important. Important in the sense that it has demonstrated to those in positions of power that they are not the ones that actually have the power. It is the people that have the power. I agree to some extent to what Charles Owino has said. You know, he's an excellent gentleman who has worked in the security industry for a long time. And where we are today is that we have people who've taken advantage of the very genuine concerns of the young people of this country, who stepped out to tell the ruling class that they need to respect the people, they need to respect the decisions of the masses. And now we have had a few criminals, criminal elements that have gotten into these demonstrations or protests, who are now destroying property, who are stealing, and who are even injuring fellow protesters and police officers. Okay. So where we are in a crisis in terms of our political fabric.
All right, Koech. What is the state of the nation this morning?
The state of the nation is, to pick from where Honorable Kibagendi has left, is we are pulling out of a crisis.
We're pulling out of it?
We are pulling out of a crisis. Okay. We were in a crisis. We are coming out of a crisis. A genuine protest, a genuine agitation for a better country, a genuine, under the Article 37 as a shrine in the Constitution, genuine concern by the young people of this country to move into the streets and protest and picket, was hijacked by mutineers, was hijacked by people who do not want peace in this country, was hijacked by people who lost the election. It was hijacked by people, even within government, who do not wish the president well. And it almost turned very chaotic, and it almost tipped over. So we've had a very, very restless 2 weeks. We've had people and politicians mobilized. We've had people, some of my colleagues have lost properties. We've lost life. We've lost time. We've lost revenue for the country. People have lost businesses. There are families today, for instance, in Kitengela that slept yesterday without food. There are families that slept. There are people who are, mourning their loved ones. There are families who really are agonizing on what to do next. There are so many things that have happened in the space of 2 weeks that almost, eroded our moral fabric of this country. Yeah. So we've pulled out of that, and like I told you off the show. Yeah. That you will hardly see any protest today. They say they're coming to the streets today. That is what Citizen says, and I really want to urge the media, particularly Citizen, that you must stop fanning this violence. You must be very You're not the ones who said it. They're saying it online. No. It's there for everyone to read. Trevor, you're my friend. I have to tell you the truth. You, as Citizen media, must be called out. You must stop this sensationalization of what is happening out there. You see a bonfire here, and you want to have your journalists focus on that particular space for almost 20 minutes. Let's stop this. Let the country heal. Let's get back to work. Let's have some positive vibe. You've seen how, as a country, we can easily lose our country if we continue with this kind of story. Okay, let me bring in Sheikh. Sheikh, what is the state of the nation? How would you describe the state of the nation this morning?
Mixed one. First of all, there was an initiative to bring about changes in the country. Let's start from there. The changes have already taken place. We have already noticed. Surprisingly, I was in my sitting room yesterday and I was laughing by myself. When I see politicians, beating one another, trying to catch the eye of the speaker, both in the Senate and in the National Assembly, saying we don't want salary increases. This is the first time in the history of this country when there is anything brought which is going to benefit the members of parliament and the senators, that actually they will say, all of them, they'll say yes. But for the first time, they're saying no. Why? Who brought about those changes? We have to accept changes has taken place. And we have to give credit where it is due. It is the youth, the Generation Z, that has brought that. So we have to give them the credit. So it has started. How far we'll go, I don't know. Yes, it's a reality. We have lost lives. We regret the lives that we have lost. We condole with the families of those who have lost and the ones that have been injured. However, when you bring about any initiative, there will be supporters and opposers. There are also people who try to take advantages of the situation. We know that criminal elements have tried to take advantage. And I don't have any evidence, but there's a lot of feeling that actually there's a lot of political interference. People are trying to take advantage of what has been initiated by a different group for positive changes in the country. So, yes, we have lost people. Yes, we have lost lives. Yes, we have lost properties. We don't encourage that, and it should be discouraged to the best, in the best possible manner that we can. However, we have also to note that within this short period, which is just 3-4 weeks ago, where we were and where we are today is different. Finally, what I want to say is that my brothers who are the politicians and sisters, for the first time they have accepted to be accountable to the people of Kenya. While the Constitution gave us those rights as the people, knowingly, not that they don't know, they ignored the people who elected them. Their employers they ignored. But for the first time they have realized people were watching them and they are coming back to their senses. Okay.
Owen, how do you deal with this lawlessness that you're talking about? You've been in the security sector for quite some time, and we've been seeing it play out in public. What is the best way of dealing with this lawlessness?
We must, first of all, as a country, agree that this is our country, and we must protect it and sustain it. That is the first basis that we must agree on as a nation. Because I've told you we have a very vibrant constitution that gives us procedures for whatever we are supposed to do or undertake. And you know very well that the procedure is that when you want to demonstrate, to picket, to assemble, then it must be peaceably, and you must not be armed. So if people come out agitating, whatever it is, change or whatever it is, you come out in large numbers and you organize yourselves. What is most important is that the message is passed. But when you come out to loot, you come out to destroy property, you come out to cause death, it was very embarrassing because I saw in Bondo youths beating a police officer. And very close to the police station. Actually, it is less than 500 meters from the police station. The chances would be that it would amount to provocation, and the policemen may use their firearms. And then that is what the politicians would pick from. So what we are saying is that politicians should stop taking advantage of some of the situations that we see. Because if you tell policemen, you go to court and then you tell policemen, don't use tear gas, don't use your firearm, what happens is that there will be no fear amongst the demonstrators, amongst the robbers, amongst the bad people. So what will happen is that you will be overrun. The policemen will be overrun, properties will be destroyed. You have seen members of the public saying, police are not protecting us. But what means if you are 5 police officers, 10 police officers, against 1,000 members of the public? How do you react? How do you manage your firearm? How do you manage your tear gas? How do you manage this? Because traditionally, what we were trained was you start by a proclamation. You ask people, watu wote waliokusanyika hapa sasa mnaamuriwa mtawanyike na muondoke mara moja. Hiyo ni kazi ya ule inspector who is in charge of the group. When they refuse, then that is the time now you use your tear gas. When they refuse, you use your tear gas and your baton to disperse. But now when property is being destroyed, what do? Those are the times now people use firearms. I hear people say use rubber bullets. But interestingly, will they stop? So we must face reality. We must give police power to bite. Okay. Because when we were taught how to use firearms, we were even being told that you target the ringleader if you must use your firearm. If the situation is so bad, then you target the ringleader. Unasema ule mtu mrefu amevaa kofia nyekundu, aim, fire. Those are the procedures, and it happens. So what we are saying is you limit casualties as much as possible. Okay. But this is not possible if we don't want to face the law. If everyone agrees and every Kenyan say, if you go destroying people's properties, then police has a right to shoot you or even kill you. Nobody will attempt to do that. Okay. But if we say, if we want to take advantage, we want to push people to be killed, because like, for example, when you are breaking into, let's say, Parliament, and you are targeting an armory, surely, what will happen? Okay. So what we are saying is, let us be obedient, let us learn to obey the law, and if we act within our parameters, demonstrators, security officers, then all will be well. Okay. But if we don't do that, then it will lead to anarchy. All right.
Kibegeni, how do we pull out of this political crisis that you're describing?
First, I would like to congratulate the young people of this country for stepping up to restore what I can call sanity in our governance in the way that they did. What they have done to this country is tremendous. Although in later stages, we've had criminals taking advantage of the situation. Two, I would like again to send my condolences to the young people who've died in the line of duty, and even police officers who died. One was shot by a fellow colleague, from what we saw on TV, and some got injured in these protests. And what I can say today is that the young people have made their voices heard. And I believe the president doesn't need to organize any conference to meet young people, to meet the concerned people, to discuss anything because he knows what actually this country needs. The only problem he had is that he had been taken over by power and started leading this country the wrong direction. Together with his legion of fearful members of parliament, including Nelson Koech here, who hardly take initiative to advise the president accordingly. So the young people have set the record and said, this is what we want. And what I would like to encourage these young people to do today is to step back. You have made your voices heard. You have demonstrated how you'd want to be governed. So what we need today is to step back and wait for the president and his government to do what we young people have demanded. Yeah? By doing that, it is not weakness. Actually, in the art of war, retreating is a strength. It is a strategy. Yeah? You can retreat and then reorganize for later dates. But where we are today, we shouldn't allow our country to burn. Yeah. When a country burns, it will affect all of us in ways we cannot fathom. And hence, what we are saying, the political class, that is ourselves, the president, his Kenya Kwanza government, the civil servants, have to think and listen to what the people say. Okay. For a long time, you know, I've been one of the fiercest critics of this government, even when I've come here with Honorable Nelson Koech. I was the president's advisor, and I have seen him go the wrong direction. And I have consistently been telling the president, you're doing, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, you need to respect the law. Yeah. Because for many days, the president hasn't been respecting the laws of this country, including court orders, where he decides that he will push things the way he wants. So today we are saying we have to follow the laid down regulations. Okay. Like my senior here is saying, we have to follow the law. If the political class, the ruling class, does not listen to what the people are saying, then what are they doing? Okay. They are setting us up. That is a recipe for trouble. Okay. It is a recipe for chaos in the whole country. And this time round, remember, these were not organized by the opposition. These politicians, they keep claiming, these are excuses by Kenya Kwanza. It is the people. And while we appreciate the Gen Zs, the concerns they have raised are concerns of Kenyans. They are not just concerns of those young people. All right. From issues to do with extreme arrogance, issues to do with extreme corruption, tribalism, where the president thinks only people from his tribe can serve in certain positions, from unfair distribution of job opportunities in TSC, in the police force, in the army, and all these other organizations. Members of parliament carrying sacks of money to churches, carrying sacks of money to events in their constituencies. Where members of parliament disrespect and disregard concerns of their fellow members of parliament. Okay. I'm telling you, the things we've been seeing in parliament, the arrogance we have seen, but anyway, it has come down. Okay. So it is working. It has come down. What I would like these members of Kenya Kwanza to stop is the excuses they keep giving their people who wanted to overthrow government. That is neither here nor there. Okay. What we need to deal with are the issues. Okay. And today, from this point going forward, I want us to talk about how do we move forward. That's exactly what we're going to talk about in just a bit. But Koech, did you as members of parliament fail Kenyans this time round, especially when it comes to the finance bill vote? Because one moment the people are telling you vote no, you decide to vote yes. Then the president now says that, okay, now I've rejected this. And then you clap again. Did you, as legislators, fail Kenya?
I'll tell you that this finance bill, 2024, was demonized because of misinformation and lack of knowledge by many people. In fact, I will even ask you what was wrong in finance bill 2024. You see, as a member of parliament, by the time a finance bill comes onto the floor of the House, it has gone through so many processes. There's public participation, which is done out there. First of all, treasury rights. as their proposal. And that is why many people were mad. You have bread here, you're taxing pads, you're taxing diapers. Why are you doing that? Because what the National Treasury does is to write a proposal to the National Assembly. Then they do public participation. And if you noticed, in fact, Parliament should really be clapped for, because we removed the many contentious issues that Kenyans did not want in the Finance Bill 2024. So we ended up demonizing Finance Bill without necessarily knowing what was happening with it, which I'll come to it later, and what the effects of Finance Bill 2024 being shelved. The effects are very devastating to the economy of this country. But that is neither here nor there.
Did you as legislators fail Kenyans?
We did not fail Kenyans. We were actually helping Kenyans, okay? And I will explain my space. Kenyans. We did not fail Kenyans in any way. We listen. When you have a PG, and which is not done only in Kenya, it's done in every democracy. We have our manifesto as Kenya Kwanza. We had a reason why the president will call us and say, guys, this is how we are going to generate our revenue. We are going to expand our tax base, and this is exactly what we are going to get from this Finance Bill 2024, 2025, and that is why I want you to support. We listen, we debate, we agree as a parliamentary group and say, this is what as Kenya Kwanza we proposed, this is what we've agreed on, and this is exactly
But who
what
are you listening to? The Kenyans told you that they said no.
We did not fail
said
Kenyans.
no. But you say you voted yes.
Misinformation. The issues that Kenyans
Are you forcing them with misinformation?
They
came to you and told you we don't want this finance bill. So who are you listening?
Finance bill is a huge document. We've had finance bill in every financial year. What is it that Kenyans do not agree with? What Kenyans do not agree with, we removed it. Kenyans do not want to be taxed.
So you're standing by your yes?
I will stand by my yes, and I want to.
Some of your legislators are apologizing for having not listened to Kenyans.
Why will I apologize? Shortly, you will feel the effect, and you will thank the people who voted yes. I am telling you this. Let me tell you, and allow me time so that I can tell you. God has given me grace to also have lived in to see the last parliament. That's the 12th parliament. When Handshake Brothers joined forces to increase the fuel levy from 14% to 16%, it was bloody in that parliament. People don't talk about it now. I saw my colleague from Soin Sigawet, Kipsangaret Koros. He was punched by Honorable Mbadi, and he was admitted in hospital for 3 days. Chair of Finance at that time was the Governor of Homa Bay now, Honorable Gladys Wanga. We were removed. I was even in Defense Committee at that time, but we were kicked out because we were seen to be elements that were not supporting the government of the day. So much money was used. We borrowed recklessly. We found ourselves in a hole when we came into power. What do? As a president, he realized that I cannot govern because there is no money to govern. So much money was wasted. No one is talking about that. No one is seeing any scene in the regime. People are not asking, how as a country did we find ourselves here? No one is asking that. But they are telling William Ruto, fix it in 2 years. And you must fix it now, or we will come to State House. What is happening? Why is this agitation? Who are these people who are coming out to tell the president that fix it in 2 years? It is not the Gen Zs.
So was the president wrong by saying that now he's refusing to sign? If you say you're standing by your yes, but the president said that
the president chose between peace for the country and a bill.
But the legislature
he decided that, okay, for the sake of peace of the country, I will shelve the Finance Bill 2024-2025. This will start pinching you shortly.
Okay, let me hear what Sheikh has to say. Sheikh, did the legislators fail Kenyans?
You see, I'm glad he's talking the way he's talking now, because this is the culture of political class in this country, that they know it all and nobody else knows it. Okay? What the Gen Z has just raised are what Kenyans have been saying over so many years. All these issues were raised. It's not the first time. The only thing that the Gen Z did is actually they established the mechanism. They knew the button to touch for these people to listen. That is where we are. The issue of actually mismanagement of the economy, it's not only the last 2 years. It has been going on for so many years, and we know that. And we are not saying it's not there. But what caused this? It is the lack of hearing. And what you are still saying is there is still lack of hearing by the political class. Starting from the presidency, including my brother who's sitting here. He's saying this thing is good. 90% of the Kenyan people say it's not. Do you go against your employer if you are employed in a corporate body? Why is it that we give them the mandate to look after our own interest? Today they say, you don't know, we are the ones who know. And we put them there to listen to us. 50 million people cannot go to parliament. So we choose 300 people to be there. Those 300 speak on behalf of the 50 million people. But they are just echoing what the public is supposed to be saying. What he's saying is that this bill is good. Kenya has said it is not good. Who is right in this process? Tell me. It's absolutely clear. But you see what you are seeing here? People like us, we have lived through this thing for the last 50 years. We know what happens in parliament in this country. We have never got any changes in this country without pressing the button and bringing the pressure. Remember the change of to multi-party system. It was through the public standing up family. Remember about the Constitution. I was involved in the Bomas Constitution making process. Okay? We know what we went through. Changes don't come back easily. And all the time the problem is lack of hearing by the political class. We have got a generation here which is highly educated. The analysis that actually the Gen Z come up with, I am impressed. Okay? On every sector of the economy. They even go back and give us data. What has been done over the last 5 years, how the economy has been mismanaged. All this thing we are talking about is there on the record. We all knew, and we've got experts who knew, but we did not know how to address. We have to give the credit where it is due. We don't support breakdown of law and order. But now we know, I saw that clip. I was really saddened. When I see a police officer who is being clobbered, who is being pulled along the road, I said, where is our country going to? The police is a noble profession that we should be protecting. They have got their ups and they have got downs. In this particular scenario which we are watching now, there are times which they went overboard. They shot people which they are not supposed to be. There are times they just ignored their responsibility. I saw policemen just watching when cars are being touched, when shops are being looted. It is there, the evidence is there. So we have got all sides. We have got the good side, we have got the bad side. But coming back to the bottom line, we are somewhere which is very, very good at right now. We call for the stoppage of this criminal activity by all means. I am glad to see that actually photographs have been published of this, the so-called criminals who have not been prosecuted. Yes, they should pursue those. But then we should stand up together to bring about changes in the country. Okay. And my brother, Weshimiwas, please listen to us. Okay. Please listen to us.
I have to take a quick break. This is a commercial break. I have to take you back in just a bit. Hold your thoughts, Charles. I'm coming to you in just a bit. There are also suggestions from senators of how we get out of this crisis. I'll play some of that right after this break. All right? See you shortly.